my pushback is actually to the business owners, because you guys set the tone. You set the tone of the culture of the people who work with you. You have a mandate. And if you didn't know it, I'm putting that burden on you. I'm placing that mantle in your hands that you have a mandate.
So Antoine, we deal with a whole bunch of clients, and whether they're corporations or whether they're just one-off people that need certain things and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And there's a certain, for a lack of a better word, spirituality that we practice here when it comes to them, and that's alignment. A lot of y'all may have heard us say it in different videos here and there, but we really just want to break that down to y'all, like what that means. So like, Antoine, I'll let you go first. Like, let's actually do that first before we say like, why is it important? But what is alignment, and what do we mean when we say alignment here in Fort Park?
Right. So, I mean, the word alignment, I don't have the Webster's dictionary definition in front of me, but it's likened to the same thing that we all think of when we think of something that's aligned, something that's centered, something that is in proper angle or perfect symmetry, something that's focused. Those are like things that at least come to mind when I think of like the word alignment. Right. But the term in and of itself can be used in different capacities. You could be talking about alignment, it can be related to your joints and your ligaments. Like, you go to a chiropractor or orthopedic, they helping you align, certain bones or whatever, bone structure, because when that particular thing is misaligned, it could cause bad posture, in your body. And then that can lead to all type of complications and health problems when your body's misaligned. Even when it's in like construction and you're like doing certain things and you have to like align certain beams and columns and
they holding up right. Because if they not, it may not be that day. It may not be next week. Right. But eventually something coming down.
Something is coming down. So the word alignment can be used in different capacities, but it seems to always mean the same thing. Mm-hmm. So the term alignment has kind of transcended into something far more like intangible, but powerful for me in my personal like spiritual journey. I grew up Christian, still pronounce myself as a Christian in regards to the biblical faith and scriptures and things like that. But in terms of just my own spiritual journey, my own growth and learning, this term has kind of become a bigger term that I use more of in like a way to translate spirituality. That alignment on a spiritual plane has, in the same breath, it has the same kind of ramifications in terms of being in sync and aligned and in focus with God or the universe or the higher being or the source, with whomever you might call that to be, being in tune, on frequency, on the right channel. And the scriptures, even preachers may communicate that same principle in other ways, and what we do to get aligned, but it still kind of plays out the same way. And what this whole thing that I guess we're talking about is like alignment for us in business is just as much a personal journey and even deeper a spiritual journey that's happening. Because I believe that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. That's the quote that people have said for the longest. Like, we are timeless beings. There's a deeper why as to why we're here. And I believe that part of this whole life journey is to get into alignment, is to get into sync with that why, get into sync and get clear in any area of your life, like getting into that state of alignment. So the phrase that I use a lot now, we even use in our business, this whole idea of practicing alignment, this practice. Why? Because practice makes perfect, and perfecting alignment is more of this lifestyle of this practice, because we all have areas where we are misaligned, that we may be out of sync. And so this practice of alignment is your way of getting back into sync. Now, from a spiritual standpoint, that practice may look like meditation or consecration. It may look like fasting. It may look like having a set devotion that you do daily. It may be a declaration that you write out and recite daily. It may be music you listen to. It may be, affirmations, exactly, quotes that you read. We all have things that we do that we may even not even be aware of subconsciously that helps us kind of get into that state of practice, whether that's like a silent meditation. Some people will go away on a vacation, on a retreat, will seclude themselves and write. Some people do it in music.
Right.
They will go in the studio and will record. That is like their serenity. That's their safe haven.
Definitely mine.
Right.
Definitely
so you know what that's like. It's a space in which you are able to get back in the sync. It's a space where you're able to quiet the mind and get back to a state of clarity, because we're always in the noise of life, hustling and bustling. And before you know it, you're so misaligned and off sync. And so having some kind of practice, it's not so much that there's one way to do it. There are different ways to do it. It's just important that you're doing it. So, I mean, that's what it is. That's what it's about.
Right. True. So now we're giving that. Now we got to let them know, like, why is it important? And that can also transcend, business, but just,
right.
It's fourth part here. They send out with fourth part, man. So, we just get real right now. So, like, I want to talk about, like, why is it important to be in a line? It's just, and it'll go back to even the example that we gave, but just, dive a little deeper into it. Like, that beam scenario, like, it's very important, because if it slips, or let's take it a step farther. The crane that's putting that beam on there, if that's not aligned right, and that hook that's holding that beam slips and fall, man, you done massacred whomever is below that beam, and it's over with. Like, it's a bad thing waiting to have, like, all the bad possible outcomes to come. If you're not in a line, it's a breeding ground for failure, if you will. Right. So, like, just talking to them, and you can just dive deep on that.
Yeah, if you asking me, I'm at a stage in my personal life that I believe alignment is the most important thing an individual can be doing, period. Maybe later on in life I might change my mind and be on something else. But man, I've gotten to this state of understanding that your practice of alignment is the most important thing you can do first. To begin your day, your week, your month, your year, your practice of that alignment is the posturing from which all things can flow. How to be a husband, a wife, a friend, a mother, a father, a coworker, an employee, an entrepreneur, a boss, a leader, an entrepreneur, a politician. I don't care what walk of life you are in. Before you step out the door of your home, your safe haven, before you step into the world, into the marketplace, your most primary job is to step into that environment in alignment. Because in alignment is where you are the most clear, is where you are the most discerning, is where you are the most fulfilled. I liken the alignment to, like, your sweet spot. Like when you look at, like, basketball players. I was watching this video of Steph Curry. It was like a Instagram video when he was just practicing before the game, and this brother was out shooting. He was doing the things they like run. He was running different spots, and he got all the way back to like the half court and made his way all the way back down to the free throw line. Like, he hit every single shot.
Just boom.
Like hitting him. Now, of course, that's tons of practice to get to that state. That requires a lot of practice.
A lot of being in alignment.
Right.
In alignment.
And there are moments when we all have those moments when you're like in your sweet spot, when you're in the zone, when it's like, it makes sense. Like, whether you're in a state of, you're singing and you hitting runs and keys that you normally don't hit, where you are rapping or freestyling and like, man, it's on, you own the night, where you that comedian, you up on stage and you giving those lines, and it's like every joke is landing and landing. You on the court, and like, no matter what shot you throw, like Nicki Minaj says, she says, I scored before I ever threw the ball. Ooh. That state, that vibrational awareness is what alignment is about. It's the knowing before you even do anything, that I'm already in a state of clarity before an action is even taken. Before I'm actually doing anything, I already have this knowing, this sense of clarity. Before I make a decision, I'm already in a certain state. I think we make a lot of decisions in life misaligned. We're out of sync, distracted, caught up in the throes and life and the highways and byways and what's going on.
Even really important.
Right. And you know what I'm saying? We're FOMO, afraid of missing out, this fear of missing out. We're just in the winds trying to make decisions. A lot of times out of fear, you know, out of insecurity, out of frustration, out of doubt, out of anxiety. All of these aspects that are terms of misalignment. So we're making decisions. I'm talking about governing decisions for our household, our well-being, our jobs, our businesses. When I talk about alignment, it to me is the holy grail. It is the pinnacle. It is the practice that we all should be doing and doing well. Because if you ain't aligned, then what do you think is flowing out of you? Misalignment. What's coming? What are you birthing into the world? This state of this dis-ease, this angst, this anxiety. So it's important to me as I run this agency that we infuse it in the fabric of what we even talk about as an agency. Like what do Fourth Part do? We're a branding and marketing agency. We help our clients better align their branding, marketing, design, and media efforts. Like we look at our clients as like, we already know. You coming into this meeting, you got all kinds of stuff going on. You probably coming in here, you pissed off.
What they call it, the mist. What is it? They say you in the something. The term I can't grab it right now, but they're in the Raptors. They caught up in the Raptors.
Caught up in the Raptors.
Yeah, and they just like we know you out there, but we finna bring you. We
finna reel you back. We about to help you get into this practice, right? And so, I mean, we get on the meetings. And I mean, there have been clients we get into meetings with, and it's like they just in disarray. They can't even seem to figure out what they even meeting about. Like they get on the call, there's just like a lot going on. And I'm aware that we're human beings. Like this person on the other side of this call got a job to keep. They got a deadline to meet. They got kids and responsibilities. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of pressure on all of us to perform in America. So I'm not just naive to like, just trying to get the money. I'm trying to get paid from this client. Though that is one of the goals that we have. Like we trying to get this check because we got a service to offer. But I'm aware that the ministry underneath what we do as an agency has just as much to do with helping our clients get into alignment. Not just with their services that they're getting from us or helping them with their business, but them as individuals. That's why like we're careful about, you know, we try to get in the meetings and try to be as personable as we can.
Right.
You know, because sometimes people are like frustrated. We would love for people that when they interact with Fourth Part, that we are that calm and peace of their day. It's like, joy. I don't know what else was going on, but them boys at Fourth Part, them ladies at Fourth Part, we're the best.
I can't wait to go get in this meeting. You know, how people dread meetings. We want people to be I can't even wait till this Fourth Part meeting. I already know when I get in there, even though, it's a couple of things that we got to fix, but man, I just love getting in there and talking to Antoine, talking to Kelton, man, them boys, they make me laugh every time I get in. You know, just bring
it feels different. It feels different.
Back into that, you know, that alignment.
And let me even speak to this because this gives you some behind the scenes as to how I came up with the name Fourth Park. So I came up with the name Fourth Park. This was back in 2010. And the name derives from, really, I envisioned an agency in New York on 4th Street, across the street from a park somewhere. I don't know. I just had this idea. But what I saw with the name was a park, and that when you think of a park is a place that people go. It's one of the few places that is diverse, that is a peaceful dwelling place that people can come and gather from all walks of life. And it's kind of a relaxing place. You know, you're not necessarily consuming, you're not working, you're relaxing, you're working out, you're doing yoga, you're throwing the Frisbee around, you're with the kids, you're walking a dog. Like, it's a peaceful space. And when I started Fourth Park, I wanted to create an agency that felt like you were going to a park. It felt like you were coming into this grass area where you could sit down, kick off your shoes, pull out the sheet, get a picnic going and relax. I wanted our clients to come into a space that felt like that. You know, that still is a goal of mine, you know, because to me, that's part of that, creating that environment that no matter where you were coming from, when you're coming over here, this is a place where you can like really take off the frustration and let's really get into what you're in need of and how we can solve problems for you and your business, but also better align what you're doing and what you're trying to get accomplished. Like all of those things to me are in tandem. And so alignment is a major component of, I believe, personal life and professional life. And we do this practice of alignment at Fourth Park with this 4-step process. This is just kind of like what we do. We take clients through a 4-step process: discover, define, develop, and deliver. Is like our process that we take clients through. This is how we get them into order alignment. And into alignment with the work that we do. But the deeper component of it is this more spiritual undertone. And I'll say this too, even with like my team, you know, the people that work with us, you know, just everybody that's a part of Fourth Park.
Kendall.
K1, you know, all these different people, Thomas, different people that have worked with us over the years. You know, I care about wanting to make sure that their time with Forth Park is a time where they're able to feel some sense of alignment around the work they're doing, that they leave here better than they came.
Right.
I actually think that that's actually part of the responsibility of a business owner. That if you're going to employ people, if you're going to create opportunities, if you're going to build something that has capacity enough for others to be a part of your responsibility is to steward those people and their time with you.
Right.
Like that's a type of ministry. Like I look at Forth Park as like my church. Like I'm pastoring this flock, not because they're like my sheep, but because they're giving their time here. Right. And I don't want to be, careless of that time, as best as I can. I want to make sure I pay people on time. You know what I'm saying? I want to make sure that this ain't a place where we pull each other down. We hold each other down. This is a place where we bless up. Yeah, we bless up over here. We don't mess up. We bless up. That kind of thing. So alignment, it's a big deal to me, to us. I think it's the language that I want to use for the world. Like, come over here and get where are you misaligned?
How's your alignment?
Right. Let's
Matthias? No, you're aligned.
You're aligned.
You're alive, man.
You're alive, right?
I think, and that's beautiful, and I love it. And I love how how you've created that culture and how we're moving forward with the culture as well of alignment. Because when I think about it, my ideal thing. I don't know if you've seen the movie Soul with Jamie Foxx.
Yeah,
they call it when they get in the zone.
Right.
That's what I think about in alignment.
Right.
They transcend to that spiritual plane where everything is just. You see those beautiful souls they ascend it to heaven. Well, like a better term, they ascend it to that spiritual place where it's just pure nirvana.
Right.
And you could see people get into that state by tapping into the zone.
Right.
By playing the piano or painting. You see just how you was depicting it with Steph, like how he was shooting and all that stuff. Like when he just in the zone, he just dropping it. He just that ball in his hand that took him to that higher place. And all he knows is just bam. Bam, bam. So that's what I think about. I always go back to that movie Soul when we talk.
Yeah, that's a good example. I need to watch that movie again. That was a good movie.
I love that movie. I really, it had got a little bit of feedback because, for the longest when it comes to black-led movies, we never get to stay black. They always anamorphize us, like even The Princess and the Frog. Most of that movie, we had the Black Prince. We got the first Black Princess, but most of that movie, they was frogs and shit. And then it was like, Jamie Foxx being a black-led character, and he was a soul. You know what I'm saying? So most of that movie, you know what I'm saying? So It got a little flack or whatever. And I understood what they were saying, but I did love the premise of that movie and how it was depicted. So, but that was dope.
No, that's good. That's good example. Yeah, the only thing I think that I would want to push into in regards to this is like this whole work environment that we're all in, especially in America, like this work-life culture and the amount of stress and anxiety and fear that I think a lot of people sit with, don't even be aware of. Some borderline depression, especially in the midst of a pandemic that we've experienced and going into a recession is like, so you don't even know sometimes. You be in meetings with clients and they're communicating with you out of this anger and fear.
Right, it ain't got nothing to do with it. It's just out of alignment.
Right, it's a lot of misalignment and it's like, wow, like how do we press the pause button and reset? How do we reset? Because do we think we finna create true brilliance or sustaining brilliance in this world? If you stressed and you pissed off at your boss, you hate your job, you don't want to be what type of, so my pushback is actually to the business owners because you guys set the tone. You set the tone of the culture of the people who work with you. You have a mandate. And if you didn't know it, I'm putting that burden on you. I'm placing that mantle in your hands that you have a mandate to not just build your business and make a profit and make this money and get paid and just create jobs and pay people. You have a mandate to create an environment where people who are coming into your doors may be misaligned. You have a mandate to help bring some level of alignment into your workplace. And I can give you some tangible examples of what that looks like, because that may mean something as simple as how you communicate with your team, how you talk to your team, how you structure your deadlines. Do you tend to operate under a lot of stress-related deadlines? Why do you do that? Why are you always last minute with things? Why do you tend to push over deliverables to your team whenever you feel like it? You might be actually the person we need to call into question, because you might be the wrong person to even be leading these people. You know what I'm saying? You got a whole lot of folks out here that's so busy trying to be bosses and businessmen and businesswomen, and you lack a whole lot of character and integrity. You don't respect the damn people you work that work with you. You just want to make money and get yours. Like,
Right.
you might be one of them entrepreneurs that we don't need anymore in the marketplace, because you're so busy out here winning in the American success, but you're creating a whole lot of garbage in the hearts and minds of the people that are working for you. Like, you have a mandate to do better, to clean up. Like, that's a challenge to any client that we work with that, to any big person in business, to myself, that if you want to run this company, you need to be aware of your moral obligation and your social obligation to the people that are working with you, you know? So that's a challenge. And that I really want to stress. I could talk at length about that, because it breaks my heart. It feel like Jay-Z and God did. It breaks my heart.
Breaks my heart.
To see how many people are showing up every day and are stressed out at work, and they take that stress to their homes. They show up to their homes frustrated and pissed off, and that frustration bleeds into their household and their kids. And I mean, just stress, waking up stressed, not getting enough sleep, just stress, stress,
And it's
anxiety.
just a constant cycle.
Yeah,
of just-
yeah. It's. I mean, in what way do you see paradise in that? In what way is that a world you want to live in? Yet you are helping to create that world because you are under pressure. Maybe you need to rethink how you're operating your business. So that's a challenge to you as a business owner, whether you got one person working with you or you working by yourself. Like, you shouldn't be that stressed. Even if you're a solo dolo entrepreneur, like, rethink, my friend, how your life is looking. Rethink how you're structuring your time, and what is that practice so that you start your day off aligned. And that's a challenge to myself, because it ain't necessarily something that I am perfect at. I am working on this alignment practice too. It is a lifelong journey, because I wake up many days and I don't necessarily feel like I'm in sync, and I'm hit with the emails. And next thing you know, I'm working. It's like, brother, you need to stop and like get into that state, because that's your first charge, is that you are operating in alignment as best you can. Remind yourself who you are, whose you are, your why. Why are you showing up today? What's the meaning behind the value you bring? You are powerful, you are worthy, declaring a thing and it being so. And then you move out in the marketplace. And now you're more discerning of bullshit you don't need to deal with. Oh, we need to cut that client off. That is toxic. I don't even want that money. That's toxic. You can't talk to my staff like that anymore. That's, you know what I'm saying? That level of rightly dividing the word of truth, when you're doing that in business, I want to see more entrepreneurs like that, because I think the tomorrow we'll create will be a better tomorrow, a more aligned society, you know. So that's what I think.
That's beautiful. Step into your alignment, man.
Yeah.
Step into your alignment, man. That's all we got to
in.
say on that one. I don't even more need to be said with that. So, hey, look, this is 4 Apart. Make sure that y'all like, subscribe, comment on this video, man. Tell us how you practice alignment in your daily days, man. We want to know how you are. Have you ever heard of this terminology? Is this your first time here? We want to hear all of that. Please drop down in the comments and let us know. And I am DeKeldrick.
And I'm Antoine, and we are 4th Apart.